Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sid, and in today's video I am going to be getting into the history of Shane Dawson's pets. And when I started making this video, I kept getting the feeling that I had already made this video. So I went looking and found an unfinished video from a couple of years ago, still in my drafts. I don't know why I never ended up posting it, but I'm sure some of y'all are going to wish that I never posted this, because there is going to be some pretty disturbing stuff in this video. But yeah, this video is 2 years in the making, so let's get into it. But first I want to get into today's sponsor, Aura. I'm sure everybody has received robocalls or spam emails and wondered how they got your details to be able to make contact with you to begin with, and it's because data brokers are making fortunes selling your personal information. Where Aura steps in is that they can identify the data brokers exposing your information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your information if you ask them to, but of course they don't make it easy. But it will be easy for you because Aura will handle all of the back and forth for you. And apps like Aura have never been more important when there are massive data breaches happening all of the time. A recent breach at AT&T saw over 73 million customers' details leaked onto the dark web, and Aura does so much more to protect you and your family from the online threats you can't see, and it can all be done through their app. It's super easy to set up, and you don't need a whole bunch of different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, a VPN, and heaps more. It's all in the one place at one affordable price. So you can either let people continue to profit off and exploit your private information, or you can go to aura.com/sid to start your 2-week free trial, also linked at the top of the description box. Okay, so back to the video. To start off with, I am going to be talking about some of Shane's family pets. These weren't his pets directly, but he did live with them and had them in his content, and they were very much known to his audience. And those family pets were 2 cats, Snoop and Muffins. And both of these cats really went through it with Shane. Shane especially took a liking to Muffins for a couple of reasons. One was because she was a very vocal cat and would meow whenever Shane would speak to her.
So we just got back to my house. Say hi, Muffins.
Nobody wants to talk to you.
Poor Muffins.
Don't say poor Muffins. Muffins is a stupid idiot. Anyways, she likes abuse.
And I don't know how to explain the other reason why he took a liking to her, but for some reason he enjoyed messing around with her inappropriately.
Up your pussy like this. Shake your body, don't stop, don't miss, just do it.
And from all of the footage that you will see, she was definitely his first victim that we know of. And the other family cat was Snoop, and he was named that because he was very chill, as if he was smoking weed like Snoop Dogg.
Yo, he's real laid back, like he's been sipping on too much catnip. So I named him Snoop.
And because he was chill and didn't do much, Shane did not like him.
Oh, and there's your cat.
Cat.
Which cat is this?
Which one is this? Oh yeah, that's Snoop.
Oh,
like
Snoop.
that
You don't like that one?
He doesn't do anything. And like, I'll throw something at him and he won't even move.
You're so nice
This
to
is kind of heavy. There we go.
There, now he
A little
moves.
bit.
And you would think that being relaxed and chill would be good for Shane, because that would mean he'd be able to do whatever he wanted to Snoop without having to worry about him fighting back, but when it came down to it, Shane preferred having a cat that would actually do stuff. And why it was so easy for him to treat these cats this way wasn't made clear until many years later, when he revealed that he had never had an emotional connection to a cat before.
I have never been a cat person. I've always been a dog person. Like, the only time I ever even connected to a cat was when I saw one dead on the street, because I'd be like, fucking me. But besides that, like, I've never had an emotional connection to a cat.
So it makes sense that he was quick to get some dogs. The first dog that he got was a corgi, and he asked his viewers to comment what they think her name should be, and at the time Shane was going through a Miley Cyrus obsession phase, so a bunch of the comments said that he should name her Miley. The next dog that he got was a much bigger dog, a golden retriever named Charlie, and one thing that he liked to do with specifically Charlie was spit in his mouth or feed Charlie drinks and food straight from his mouth.
It's unique. It's
Watch,
unique.
Charlie.
Do you want more? It's like the tastiest thing you'll ever know.
Look at his lip.
Oh,
Do that? Yeah. Charlie.
Or like me turned on.
Charlie.
oh God.
Damn, little Hitler.
You!
Spit in his mouth.
You are disgusting.
He loves
Do you
it.
do that on camera? Do people know that you do that?
I don't think so. I don't do that. That's gross. It's disgusting. It's abuse.
I mean, it's so upset. If they only knew the real you. I mean, I can't.
And the companionship he got from Miley and Charlie mustn't have been enough because he got another corgi named Chocolate. At first, it took the cats a while to adjust to having these dogs in their life,
It took my mom's cat like a long time. Oh my god.
but they did eventually adjust, and I'm sure it was made easier by the fact that the dogs became Shane's main targets. He non-stop treated them like inappropriate props in his videos, and by treating them this way, he shouldn't have been too surprised that they didn't like interacting with him as much.
You're my other Valentine, babe. Don't. Every time I go to pet these animals, they just back up. They just don't want any of it.
Oh, I'm like Steve Irwin. Except for all the animals hate me. Charlie, come back. Come here. I'm just vlogging now. Come on, Charlie. Come on! It's getting to a point where my animals are terrified of me. And I just don't understand why.
Hey, what's happening?
But fortunately for the dogs, it was Shane's mother, Teresa, who looked after them the most. She fed them, walked them, and cared for them in many ways. Despite them being Shane's dogs, he completely absolved himself of doing anything for them.
Oh. I don't know what's wrong with Charlie. My mom explained it to me this morning, but I wasn't listening.
Other than them being in his videos and living alongside them, he didn't really have anything to do with them. The dog Chocolate was probably the biggest handful for Teresa to manage alone. He was the most energetic dog and sometimes would have to be crated when guests came over.
And then Chocolate's kind of wild. He's around the corner in his crate.
Oh, okay, he's in the crate.
If I let Chocolate out, it might
They
be
get two dogs.
little nuts.
And that wasn't the only reason Chocolate had to spend lots of time inside a crate. When he was very young, he got really sick, and ever since then, it was really easy for him to continue to get sick. So while he was sick, he was locked in a crate and quarantined so that the other dogs wouldn't also get sick, and spending that much time in a crate was not good for him. He actually ended up having difficulties walking after not using his legs for so long, so Teresa had to take him to physical therapy multiple times so that his legs would get working again.
Well, I'm on the way to take Chocolate to his physical therapy. Oh, and that feels so good because you've just been cooped up in that crate.
But even though the dogs were a handful and Shane did not help her, she loved having the dogs in her life.
You know me, I have a house full of pets and I love them all. I don't know what I would do without them. They're like my kids. I love them more than anything.
And then Shane moved out of that house, leaving all of the dogs behind, and then moved in with his girlfriend at the time, Lisa. During this relationship, after a lot of deliberation, they decided to get a dog together. They got a Chihuahua mix.
You gave me a doggy.
Okay, that's like not true. That was a very mutual decision that took us 2 months to decide. And it was a lot of like, should we? I don't know. Should we? I don't know. She's cute, but what if she grows up ugly? I don't know.
Remember we would Google pictures of old fat chihuahuas and be like, is that what she's gonna look like?
We found one picture that was this really ugly old chihuahua, and we were like, but what if that's what Corny ends up looking like? We don't want that.
And at first, she was named Chloe, and then they later renamed her to Unicorn, after the YouTube comments suggested that. And then they simplified it to just Corny. And seeing the way that Shane interacted with Corny made Lisa like him even more. She loved the way he held and kissed Corny.
I love how much Shane loves our dog Corny, and it's not just like his passion for animals, which I loved from the beginning. I mean, he loves animals, but he loves Corny like his own child, and he treats her with so much love, and like just the way he carries her and holds her and kisses her, and It's like sounds so stupid, but it just makes me realize like what a good father he's gonna be.
And he definitely liked kissing Corny a little too much sometimes.
That means you ate your dog's pussy?
Okay, it was an accident. So here's like...
Oh my god, you are like the most disgusting person ever. Like literally.
No, I know. It was an accident, and I was licking her, I was blowing on her stomach or whatever, and then she jumped up and kicked, and then her whole vagina was in my mouth, and Lisa started screaming, and I started screaming. Can't even fuck in front of my dog. Well, except for when I'm fucking my dog. Oh yeah, daddy likes.
And then Shane was approached to make an app revolving around Corny. The app was called Corny Crush, and in the app, Corny had to attempt to make it to the end before getting crushed. But then Shane and Lisa broke up, and Lisa got full custody of Corny because Corny was loud and would make a good watchdog for Lisa.
Lisa has Corny because Lisa lives alone and Corny is there to protect her, which I know sounds stupid, but Corny is really, you know, a good watchdog and really loud and like lets Lisa know when shit's going down.
And then after the breakup, Shane did something he hadn't done before, which was get a pet all by himself. He got a Labrador puppy which he named Uno. At first he had difficulties finding time to walk him, play with him, and had problems around Uno chewing things up and going to the toilet inside. But he didn't have to do it all alone for long because his now husband, Ryland, came into the picture to help. And the next dog they got was a Husky. And before she ended up in their hands, she was found abandoned in a rural area and then later picked up by the Bella Vita Rescue. And then while Shane and Ryland were in San Francisco, they saw the dog up for adoption and fell in love. The rescue then drove 8 hours to bring the dog to them, and then Shane donated $30,000 to the rescue. They named her Honey, and she very quickly bonded with Uno. But another one of Shane's animals that Honey wasn't as quick to bond with was Cheeto, the cat Shane and Ryland got after Uno. Despite Shane not being a huge fan of cats previously, he noticed how much Uno enjoyed spending time with the cats at his mother's house, so he decided to adopt Cheeto from an animal shelter. Cheeto and Uno got along really well, but there were some concerns about introducing Honey to Cheeto.
Well, then it was time to introduce our new dog to Cheeto. Now, Jill told us that we had to take it slow and that Huskies sometimes don't get along with cats, and there is a big chance that they will get along and that they'll be best friends, but then there's a chance that they might not.
But after a couple of tense interactions, they did end up bonding together and are fine with each other now. While all the animals were bonding together more and more, Cheeto seemed to tolerate Shane less and less. It became a thing in Shane's fan base that Cheeto hated Shane. Compilations and fan edits were put together of all the times Cheeto was just done with Shane's crap. And honestly, I don't blame him at all.
Oh!
Yeah.
I don't think he likes that. We can just go inside.
So in March 2020, when a podcast clip went viral of Shane talking about something he did to a cat, it wasn't a surprise for why Cheeto didn't like Shane.
The things I've done to my poor animals, they will never love me. I've done terrible things. I used to...
Oh no, I don't know if you want to go there, Shane. What'd you do?
One time, I laid my cat down on her back.
Are you going to get arrested for this?
I don't know. No.
Think about it.
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't penetrate. I laid the cat down on her back and then I moved her little chicken legs, like, you know, spread open or whatever. And I was like, if I just like hump, but like on her tummy, like that's not weird, like whatever. And then I humped it, and it kept going, and I came all over the cat.
No, you did not.
It was like my first sexual experience.
No
I was also
way.
like 19, so it's like, you know.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second. Did you just say you came on a cat?
Guys, I think I have to put money in the meter.
After that clip came out, Shane took to Twitter to say that he didn't F his cat or do anything else like that to his cat. He also explained that the story he told was actually a sketch video idea he had many years ago, but decided to tell it as if it actually happened. And I do believe that some of the things that he has said about his animals are just really bad jokes. But the fact that he even thinks these things and then says these things to begin with is pretty bad still. And I think it's very telling that a lot of people think that he is capable of doing something like that to his cat. So people were rightfully concerned when he got a new kitten from Trisha Paytas's partner Moses. Shane immediately connected to this kitten, which they named Mario, and Cheeto also bonded with him almost right away. But they had a tough time acclimating Mario to the dogs, and there were concerns about the dogs possibly being too rough.
And Joe was actually pointing out, he was like, but those dogs, like their energy, like they could accidentally love somebody to death. Like,
oh my god,
crush them.
And then a week after announcing Mario had come into their lives, Ryland announced that Mario was dead.
Our kitten that I introduced to you guys last week on the podcast has unfortunately passed away, and I felt it's necessary to tell you what happened.
And then afterward, he got on his podcast to further talk about what happened.
And before Shane and I got up to go out to the family room, an incident had already happened. Yeah. And as soon as we're on our way, the hissing, the noises happen, and whatever happened had already been done.
Basically, the cats escaped from an area in the house that they were being separated from the dogs. And when Ryland found Mario, he was throwing up and making sounds. He assumed that the dogs must have gotten Mario in some way. They did rush him to the emergency vet, but he was too weak and it was too late for them to do anything about it. The vet did find bruising on Mario's lungs, so they believe that potentially Honey, because she is a husky with a higher prey drive, was the one to attack Mario. In other unfortunate news, Miley passed away in 2017, and Charlie did in 2020. As far as I'm aware, Chocolate is still alive. And as of 2021, Snoop and Muffins were still alive, and Shane and Ryland did get another dog.
Adopt, don't shop. I think I just shopped. but to balance that out, like, we're gonna adopt a kid. Hi, princess. Oh my god, I love you already. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
So yeah, that is kind of where things are at now. Anyways, that is everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let's take a moment of silence for Mario. And I will see you in my next video.